right, is the next witness going to be testifying about transcripts?
No, sir. We're done with those transcripts.
Okay, then have the witness come.
Yes, sir. State would call Michael Kupka.
Folks, I know we had a different witness up here and no cross-examination has taken place. By agreement, we're calling a witness out of sequence, okay? You can turn it off.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. May I have a seat?
Thank you.
Make sure you speak close to the microphone so the viewers can hear what you have to say about this matter, okay?
Yes, sir.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Could you tell us your name, please?
Yes, my name is Michael Kupka.
And in which state do you live and what do you do for a living, sir?
I live in Texas and I run a mobile software development company.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about that mobile software development company, please.
The company is called GizmoQuip, and our our products are primarily to help parents with their children, and we have a number of products that do that.
Okay. Is one of the products SMS Tracker?
Yes, it is. And remotely see all the activity that's been taking place.
Okay. And tell us about the different versions of the software, whether it's paid or free, and essentially how it is that you go about getting the software.
Yes, so the app itself is listed on Google Play. It's only on Android phones, and it's available for free on Google Play. The free service, which everybody gets, allows you to see all the text messages. I believe it's for the last 12 hours. We've played with the different time ranges of how much we allow people to see for free, just SMS text messages. To purchase a subscription, and you can purchase depending on what additional information you want to see. If you want to see the web browsing history, you want to see the picture messages, those cost an additional amount of money to pay for a monthly, quarterly, or yearly subscription.
You're saying SMS as if it's something more than just the name of your product. What is SMS?
Yeah, it's a simple message system. It's text messages, but I'm sorry, did it cut out?
Yes, sir.
It's text messages that you send on your phone. So it began many years ago. We used to, on the old flip phones, used to punch out number, and now with the smartphones, you can just type full messages up to 160 characters.
And this product monitors, at least in its free version, it monitors those messages over a 12-hour period.
Yes, actually what it does is it collects all data, and then if you have a subscription, that's unlocked on the website where you can see it remotely. So whether or not you have a subscription, all that data is being collected and sent up. So if you later decide you want to make a purchase, all that historical data is already there for you.
Okay. And you said that making a purchase gives you access to additional information, such as what?
Picture messages, for example. So you want to know what kinds of pictures that your kids are sending or they're receiving. You would purchase the MMS, that's the multimedia message system. You'd purchase a subscription for MMS services, and that will allow you to see those, any kind of attachments that are sent to messages.
Can you also review your children's internet searches?
Yes. Yes, so you can see the web browsing history of what they've been viewing online, and you can see a complete link. If you go to our website and you see the links, you can even click on it and go to whatever page it was that they were viewing.
Okay. How about emails?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't monitor the emails themselves. That's for security reasons. It's not able to do that.
Does it monitor the transmission? That an email was sent or received, or does it just not follow emails at all?
It does not follow emails at all.
Okay. How about phone calls and phone history?
Yes. So all the phone call logs, you can see calls that were sent or received, even missed calls, and that's also tied into the address book on the phone. So you get not only the phone number, but the actual name in the address book that's associated with it, whatever name the user has assigned to that number.
Okay. And how about GPS or physical location data?
Yes, we have location tracking, so basically every 5 minutes it drops a breadcrumb, and you can see not only where's little Johnny right now, but where's he been all day long. So as parents, we want to know where our kids have been, and that's an easy way to track. So we have a breadcrumbs tab on the website that allows you to go back and look at the location history of basically everywhere that phone has been.
As a purchaser of your software, is an individual permitted to or able to view this information as it's occurring in a live format?
It's not quite live. There is a little bit of a delay to it, but it is, depending on the message type and the reliability of your actual data connection, it's very close to real time.
How close are we talking?
We've seen messages that can come up within 5 seconds. Sometimes it may be a few minutes or up to hours if they're out of a service range.
Okay. In a major metropolitan area, would you expect that it would be a close to real-time transaction?
In most instances, yes, it is.
If the user or the parent who has installed this device on their child's phone, if the parent misses the information as it occurs, can the parent then later access that information?
Yes. So an example would be, maybe text messages that were sent several days ago. You would be able to then, once that information is collected and sent up to the server, you can go back and see it at any time. There are some instances where a phone has been out of data range, but you could still send and receive text messages, and once the phone goes back into data range, all those messages are buffered up and they're sent up to the server. You'd be able to see them.
And how is it that the parent would then access the account to review this information?
When you first install the app, you actually create an account. It registers an account on our web servers.
Okay.
And then you go to any web browser, you enter your username and password, the same information you entered when you first registered the app, and you log in, and you're presented with a kind of a parent console where you have access to see all the different types of information that's been collected.
And do you go back to that parent console later if you wish to review any of the information that you've missed?
And yes, you can go back at any time, yes.
You've told us how the app is purchased, how it's installed. Tell us what it looks like on the child's phone or on the child's device.
Once the app is installed, there are a couple of things that you have. There's an icon that shows the app for the version you get off Google Play that has kind of a radar with a pigeon on it. We thought pigeons, carrier pigeons, they bring information. It's kind of a cute logo. And then there's a very small notification icon that's in the notification bar at the top of the phone that indicates that the app is running. And this is kind of a requirement for privacy for any apps that are up on Google Play that collect sensitive information. The user has to be notified that the app is installed, so there's a visible icon that indicates when it's running.
When did that notification become required by Google Play?
That was in February of 2013.
Okay. So it would have been in place in October of 2013?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Mr. Kupka, have you reviewed some photographs prior to testifying here today?
I have.
Okay. I'm going to approach with what's been marked States Exhibit 6Ks, 1 and 2. Would you take a look at these items, sir? Tell me if you recognize them.
I do.
And what do you recognize them to be?
These are copies of the records of information that we had sent to the state attorney's office.
And photographs of the logo and device application?
Yes, screenshots of what it looks like when the app is running and the logo. That's correct.
Let me also show you what's been marked States Exhibit G, 3 Gs, 1 and 2. You recognize that item, sir?
I do.
Is that the corporate records that you sent that you just mentioned?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is that document signed by your business partner?
It is.
Okay. You recognize his signature?
Yes.
You've had an opportunity to review those documents prior to testifying here today?
I have.
Judge, if there are no objections, the state would move 6 Ks and 3 Gs into evidence. The stage next.
Judge, can I talk to Mr. Will for a second?
Yes, sir.
Judge, only objection from the defense would be the one based on the pretrial motions that we had filed and had heard. And I think the pictures of the state is going to use them as a demonstrative aid as opposed to actual evidence. I think that's
Okay.
correct.
Items will be admitted into evidence.
Yes, sir.
Exhibit 6A is states 116, A and B. It states 3G, 1 and 2. It now states 117, A and B.
Now, Mr. Kupka, we were talking for a moment about the way that your application and software look on a cellular device. I'm showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 116, and we're going to go to photograph A. Talk to us about what we see here.
Yes, if you look at the very top left on the screen, you'll notice that there are two icons. And the one to the right, you see the small bird. That's the icon that indicates that the service is running, collecting data in the background at that time. The larger icon that you see about midway down, just slightly left of center, that is what the actual app icon looks like when it's installed on the phone. So if you wanted to open the app, you would click on that blue icon that says SMS Tracker.
Okay, and I'm going to show you what's been marked as photograph B on the disc. Is this a closer view of that same icon?
It is.
And then photograph C, is this a closer view of the activation icon that's in the upper left corner?
It is.
Okay. And this is the thing that lets you know that it's running on your phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this would be on which phone? The parent's phone or the child's phone?
On the child's phone.
Okay, so the child would be able to see the bird on the face of his device or her device?
That is correct with that version.
Okay. I'm going to show you photograph D. Is this the certification of the corporate records that we're about to discuss in this particular case?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with the name Jasenia Suarez and the name Luis Toledo?
I've heard the name Luis Toledo before.
Okay. And were you called by my office, more specifically, were you called by me to search for Luis Toledo and telephone number 321-262-5915?
Yes, I was.
Okay, what can you tell us about the installation of the records in this particular case on that device?
We were able to determine the dates at which the app was initially installed on that device, and that there were multiple logins from the account that was created. We were able to determine the IP addresses where the user was logging in from, all the times that the user had actually logged in, and what pages were accessed. So, for example, the user, the account owner, what he was looking at as far as what records he had access to.
Okay. Do you have all that information committed to memory, or would it help you to look at your corporate record?
It would help to look at them, yes. Thank you.
If you would, sir, would you take a look and tell us when the application was installed on the telephone number 321-262-5915?
Yes, if you give me a moment.
Okay.
It appears that it was on, let me see here. There are two places where you have that information.
Okay.
And so the dates that I have here, when he had created the account, which is when you first install it, was on April 25th of 2015.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's wrong.
Yeah.
It was actually on 2013 it was October 18th of 2013. I'm sorry.
What was the April date? Is that when the records were actually prepared for this case?
That was when we added an additional user confirmation. You know what, I actually don't recall when we exactly gathered those records. But it was originally installed on October 18th.
Okay.
And the last, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Tell us.
The last login, the user that created this account was actually, appears that it was in February of 2014. There's some information there that someone had logged in at that time.
Okay. Now, as it relates to, and do you know if the 2014 date is when my office contacted Gizmo Quip and had them look at the...
I believe that is correct, right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about the installation date. The installation date you said is October 18th of what year?
2013.
Okay. And who was the individual who created this account, purchased this account? Tell us about the initiation of the account itself.
Yeah, it was created by someone using the email address ltoledo153@gmail.com.
Okay.
Is that...
Yes, sir. Keep going. Tell us more
And
about
so
the creation.
subsequently, yes, so that was the account that it was, the email address that was used to create the account. There were subsequent access purchases that were made that also referenced Mr. Toledo.
Okay. And what purchases exactly were made?
Looking at them here, oh, I have the reading glasses with me. Just bear with me, please.
Yes, sir. Feel free.
Thank you. Yeah, there were subscriptions that were purchased. We have the IP addresses, and let me see here. I've got the dates. $4.98, and it was paid. Looks like it was processed through PayPal, PayPal direct payment with a credit card, and the card type looks like it was an American Express that was used.
And would those what activities would those payments allow the originator to view?
This would have allowed him to view it looks like this one was the text messages, and let me see here. I'm trying to look. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
So it looks like there were text messages and MMS messages that were visible here, and it looks like maybe location information also. Yes, yeah, definitely location information was also purchased.
Okay, and how about browsing data?
Yes, web browsing as well.
And after those things are purchased, after text, MMS, location information, and browsing data are purchased, where would that information return to? To what device, to what account, to what location?
That information will be viewable from anywhere. So anywhere you have access to a web browser, whether it's on a laptop, desktop, a mobile phone, another device somewhere, if you logged into smstracker.com, you would then be able to see all of that information.
Would the person who purchased these services also be able to view it on their own smartphone?
They could, yes.
What was the duration of the account?
Bear with me just a moment.
Yes, sir.
It appears it was 1 month.
Okay.
There was the complimentary, the free trial that was unlocked, which lasts about 7 days, and then there was subscriptions lasting 1 month.
In your review of these corporate records, and again, you don't know any of the people involved in this case at all, do you?
I do not.
Okay. And in fact, you don't even really know who Mr. Toledo is.
I do not.
Okay. In reviewing these corporate records, did you find the content of conversations that were being had by the subject number with an individual named AMK9 Kevin Dredden?
I do remember seeing that, yes.
You saw the name AMK9 Kevin Dredden?
Yes, sir.
And how did you see that? In the form of text messages and call data?
Yes. Yes.
Yes to both?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also find internet browsing data associated with this particular account?
We did.
Okay. And did some of that internet browsing data seem to focus on hotels or cheap hotels in the Altamont Springs area?
That is correct.
And can you tell us what days that browsing data took place that focused on the hotels in the Altamont Springs?
I can. If you bear with me just a moment,
Yes, sir.
I'll look it up.
And also, if you would, tell us when AMK9 Kevin Dredden first started to pop up in the records.
Okay. I apologize. We have a lot of pages of data here, and I don't have them marked.
No, that's all right, sir.
Okay, so it appears that AK9 Kevin Dredden, it looks like October 20th is the first one that I see on here. If these pages are in correct order.
Okay, and what about the search history?
I'm looking for that now.
As you do, are there more records related to AMK9 Kevin?
Oh, yeah, they're coming up more frequently now. It's, you know, we've got more of them on the 20th, several on the 20th here.
I'm assuming these are all 2013.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, they are. I apologize for taking so long.
No, it's my fault. I didn't let you know I was going to ask this question. It's my fault.
Okay, it appears also on October 20th. There are multiple searches here, Priceline and searches for other hotels on October 20th.
Okay. Again, of 2013?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you're showing those searches in your corporate records and also showing entries for American Canine Kevin Dredd in your corporate records, would Luis Toledo be able to review that information?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, the information that you see here is exactly information that he was able to see.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I have no further questions at this point.
Any cross-examination?
We don't have any questions.
All right, thank you. May the witness be excused. State.
Yes, sir.
Defense.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your
I'll
Honor.
take the exhibits from you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
State's next witness.
State recalls investigator, or excuse me, Sergeant Pagliari.
For the record, the witness has already been sworn and was previously testifying. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to, I've been informed that the next recording that is about to be presented, it's 3 hours long. That would put us way beyond 5 o'clock, and I try to get you out of here by 5 o'clock. So I'm going to have the state present half of it today, and then we'll take the other half on Monday when we resume, okay? I do want to reread the instructions that I read you yesterday, and then one instruction that I read you the very first day of the trial. You know, you have been provided a note and pen for use if you wish to take notes. Any notes that you take will be for your own personal use. However, you should not take them with you from the courtroom. Like I said, during recess, I ask you to leave your notes in your seats as well as any transcripts that have been given to you. After you complete your deliberations, no one will get to read your notes. The notes will be delivered to me and they will be destroyed. If you do take notes, do not get so involved in note-taking that you become distracted from the proceedings. Your notes should be used only as an aid to your memory. Whether or not you take notes, you should rely on your memory of the evidence, and you should not be unduly influenced by the notes of another juror. Notes are not entitled any greater weight than each juror's memory of the evidence. The audio recordings that you have been viewing and you will be about to view, the court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view or listen to and consider this evidence. You're also about to receive copies of transcripts of these conversations. These recorded conversations are proper evidence and you may consider them just as any other evidence. The recordings are the evidence and the transcripts are provided to you only as a guide to help you follow and listen to the recordings. The transcripts are not evidence of what was actually said or who said it. If you notice any difference between what you hear on the recordings and what you read in the transcript, you must rely on what you hear and not on what you read. All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant Pagliari, before we start the next recording, I'd like to ask you a couple quick follow-ups about the first recording that we watched this morning.
Yes, sir.
What time did the interview begin on October 23rd, 2013?
About 4:15 in the afternoon.
Okay. And approximately how long was the interview, or what time did the interview end?
Around 7 p.m., 7:15.
And as we discussed before, there were snippets cut from the interview of dead time in the room when nobody was in there, or bathroom breaks, things like that, right?
Yes, sir.
And we'll see the same in the October 24th, 2013 interview, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, upon the conclusion of the interview on October 23rd, was the defendant returned to the Volusia County Branch Jail?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, he had been arrested earlier in the day by Lake Mary Police Department, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Lake Mary Police Department is in Seminole County?
Yes, sir.
Because he was arrested in Volusia, though, he had to be transported to the Volusia jail, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so it wasn't possible for Lake Mary to take him back to the Seminole jail, is that right?
No, sir.
Okay. After the interview concluded with the defendant around 7:15, do you know if there were any interviews of Tyshawn Jackson on that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did other agents conduct interviews of Tyshawn Jackson on that day, or did you?
Other agents, sir.
Is that the day that Tyshawn Jackson showed law enforcement where the dumpster was in Seminole County?
Yes, sir.
In the tail end of the interview, you presented several pictures to the defendant on October 23rd, 2013. Could you tell us what the pictures were, please, just generally?
Sure. The pictures were of a knife that was found.
Was it the large knife with the knuckles on it?
Yes, sir.
Is that the knife that was retrieved near the defendant's home?
Yes, sir.
There were other photographs on the table. I think you referred to them as family photographs. Anything particularly important about any of those photographs?
No, sir. They were just photographs of his wife, of his daughter, and of his son.
Yesterday, I believe you told us that this was more of an information gathering session during the 23rd. Is that still your testimony today?
That is correct.
Even though there was a bit of a confrontation there at the end on the 23rd?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When was the next time that you had contact with the defendant?
Next time I talked to Louis Toledo was on October 24th at about 2:30 in the morning.
Okay. As you're ending the interview on the 23rd and approaching the interview on the early hours of the 24th, what law enforcement activities have been conducted to locate Jasenia Suarez and the children?
We had put out a teletype, a bolo, if you will, with the information for the children, for Yesenia. We also got the public information officer involved, try to run down some of the places that Lewis had said that they might be, but all those efforts did not lead to them being found.
Was the prevailing thought of law enforcement that this was still a missing persons case at that time?
Yes, sir.
What was the purpose of going to see the defendant at 2:30 in the morning on October 24th, 2013?
After I talked to Lewis and brought him back to the jail, I had met with other investigators, specifically ones that talked to Tyshawn Jackson. Tyshawn Jackson had led them to some places where some evidence was found. With this new evidence, we thought that it was in the best interest to go and talk to Lewis to see if he had any more information that he could provide us.
Information about what?
Information is perhaps their whereabouts.
More specifically, where the children might be?
Yes, sir.
During this overnight conversation, could you describe what occurred?
Sure. I went to...
You object on ground that
Okay, overrule, based upon the previous rulings of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, could you tell us about how this contact occurred?
I went to the branch jail in Volusia County about 2:30 in the morning. Had Lewis come down. I talked to Lewis and I asked him, I said, we're still looking for your wife and your children. It's been about 20 hours now. Will you please go back to operations with me and talk more about their potential location?
Okay, and what was his response at that point?
He declined my offer. He said that he was tired and that he'd like to go back to his cell.
When was your next contact with the defendant after that 2:30 in the morning interview on the 24th?
It would have been October 24th at about 9:45 in the morning.
Now, your first interview was more of an information gathering session. Could you explain to us how that changed on the second day?
On the 24th, about at the 9:45 one at
Yes, sir.
operations, we had some evidence that led us to believe that it might be more than just a missing persons investigation. Specifically, we had talked about the location of the car. We had talked about some blood being found in the house at 317 Covent Garden. We talked about the items that Tyshawn Jackson had sent us to. I presented him some pictures. It just, the tide was going a different direction. It had been over 24 hours, and they had not reached out. They being senior children, there was no sign of them. Nobody seemed to have been able to get a hold of them. They haven't reached out to anybody. So it was a different tone.
And in the initial part of this interview, did you confront the defendant about these items that you've just described?
I'm sorry. Okay. may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Investigator Pagliari, I want to be real clear about this. I'm not asking you to tell us anything that the defendant said, okay? What I'm asking you is, did you confront him with this evidence, and did you place pictures before him of these items that you had retrieved?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair to say that Tyshawn Jackson was the primary source, if not the only source, of the retrieval of these items by law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
And on the interview on 10/23, just the day before, the defendant had made clear to you towards the end of the interview that he had no further information that he was withholding from police, and he had no idea where his wife and her children might be.
That is correct.
When these photographs were placed before the defendant on 10/24, the next day of 2013, did his statement immediately change?
Yes, sir.
And will we see that in the video of the interview conducted on October 24th, 2013?
Yes, sir.
While you were interviewing the defendant, did you notice inconsistencies in his statement? Not only the change between the 23rd to the 24th, but internal inconsistencies within the statement itself?
Yes, Your Honor. I haven't heard that recording. The recording will speak for itself, and that's prosecuting that.
No rule.
Sir, did you notice those inconsistencies?
Yes, sir.
In the interview on the 24th, what was a primary source of these inconsistencies? What was one of the major inconsistencies?
His, Lewis's first encounter with Tyshawn Jackson.
How it occurred, where it occurred, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
When it occurred?
When it occurred, yes, sir.
And we'll have an opportunity to see that in the video?
Yes, sir.
You know, at this point, the state would move to publish States 114 and distribute transcripts to the jury to go with the recording.
Yeah, I know this is probably a lengthy.
Yes, sir.
Why not give him a small break?
Sure,
before
absolutely.
we venture into this, okay? About a 10-minute break, okay? Right here. We'll be in recess for 10 minutes.
All rise.
To make room, I think we need to remove the other transcripts.
Yes, sir.
I'll take that.
With
Maybe
the,
again,
with
maybe
the
again.
court's permission, the state would publish the 1024 interview.
You may proceed.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, stop.
Yes, sir.
And then keep the cursor in the bottom.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
All right, Simon. I don't know about you, brother, but I haven't gotten no sleep. I'm sure you haven't gotten any sleep either. You know, Kurt's got no sleep. We, have been working this case since the beginning. You know that? You know, me and you and Kurt have been since the beginning. What we've done is gone home, changed some clothes, and now we're back. Because ultimately, we're still looking for your wife and the 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you coming down again today. Voluntary type deal. You know, if you don't want to talk to us. But I know that you know that the ultimate goal here is to find out where your wife and your kids are. Would you agree?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Okay. We told you yesterday, well, kind of in a sense recap from you yesterday what we told you as far as the part of your story that we're having some difficulty with. You know, do you remember what we were talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Have you thought a little bit about that? I mean, why somebody is saying something like that? No? Okay. If I show you, I want to show you a couple things. First off, is it okay if I put these pictures of your family back out? Would you like to see them? Okay, here's your wife. Here's your son. And there's your daughter. Okay? I need you to tell me what happened.
What was he telling me?
Help us find them.
I don't know where they're at.
We gotta do this, okay? I'm gonna talk you through this, all right? Because again, I want to make sure that we're doing this right. I want to make sure that we find out where these kids are and what happened, all right? You feel me? You follow? So I need you to tell me yes or no. I'm asking some questions. Please help us, somebody.
Is there any way that I do want to continue to talk to y'all? I want to tell y'all everything.
Okay.
Is there any way that you can get one down here just so I can run it down to him first and tell us?
We can't do that. And two, we don't have time for that. Our priority right now is this. So if you want to talk to us and continue to help us find them, that's your option, okay? But you need to start looking at the bigger picture here. I think you already know what position you're at right now. So if you wish to continue, we will continue, okay? Because this is our priority.
You understand? Please help us, somebody. It's done is what's done. So can we please get this out? Can we please work towards finishing this? Please. We can start with the kids.
Listen. I know you guys are not here to help me. Okay, I know that's what. I know this is not about me.
Okay?
You're right now?
Let me speak. Let me speak.
Go ahead.
Okay? I know, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. And I know that y'all still gonna try to use it against me. Y'all still gonna try to make me like a murderer. I didn't murder my family. But I'm gonna tell y'all, because I didn't murder my family. Will never murder my family. Never. I never put my hands on my wife. But I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I just wanna get it over with. This is late. I need a rest. Everything happened. Like I told y'all for the time that I went to the job. Until when I left in the cemetery, I came back to the front of the house. It was like, maybe like 2, 3 in the morning. That's what Sean put up. I told him I was having problems. He came over, was talking to me. I said, fuck it. I know my wife hates when I play PS3. That's her most hated thing. She hates that. So I told her, fuck it, we don't go in the house and play. You know, I don't care if she get upset. So we walked in the room, I turned on the light. A lot of my stuff was packed up already in the house. My wife had some stuff that was packed up. So, by the door was the accident I told you about. So I saw it, and I moved it because I didn't want, her to be upset whenever they come at me with it. So I moved it, and I put it by the bathroom. So she got up when she saw things, so she started going off on me, whatever, and she told that she wanted everybody to leave. She wanted me to get out the house. I told her I didn't have to go. I was tired of her and that I was going to take her to divorce and everything. I didn't want to work nothing out with her anymore. I was tired of her playing these games with me. I was tired. I was doing nothing but the right by her. The best for her and the kids. Me and I started arguing. She came at me. She grabbed me in the back. I got these scratches in the back here. She grabbed me from the back. I just got upset. I got so tired of her grabbing on me. She hit over the neck. She fell out on the floor, holding her neck, looking at me. She couldn't breathe. She stopped breathing. She died looking at me. Couldn't help. I couldn't help because she was looking at me. I was still like, oh, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. The kids came out of the room because of the screams. So I said, Sean, take them over there. Please take them. They took them to the room. He came back out. He asked me if she was dead. I said, yeah. He went back to the bathroom. I heard, pow. I went over there, he had the fucking thing in his hand, he hit my kids in the hand, there was blood everywhere. I told him, what the fuck did he do? He told me, you can't go to jail for my wife's murder, and the kids saw it. I said, oh my God, I said, sorry, you killed my kids. I'm like, you killed my kids. He told me, man, oh God, so good, bro, just get them, put them together or something, man. He said, he knows Sanford, the swamps and everything. He could get rid of them, so he took the shovel, he put them in the car, in the truck, I helped him carry them. And he left and started cleaning everything up, cleaned everything. He came back, we went to dump the rainbow. We dumped the rainbow, I dumped that stuff right there with him. I told him we had to go back because this piece here was good. Sure, they were in the truck. And we went back together. That was it. I didn't hurt my babies, I swear. I didn't hurt my babies. Oh my God. drop him off at 7-Eleven so he wouldn't be sore with me. Then I went back home, I dressed for work. I couldn't go to work, I was just gonna go back home. Yes, when my mother-in-law and the sheriff was there. No way he did it though, I don't know. I'll tell you, I don't know where he at. I don't know.
Had to take Sean kill your kids. So
Yeah, go with the axe. With the axe. I don't even know what side he went to with. There was just so much blood everywhere. I saw my daughter take the last breaths.
this happened in the bathroom somewhere.
My bathroom. My bathroom.
Did Sean bring both kids in the bathroom at the same time?
Yeah, I told him to take them over there. He took them over there.
You know where the axe is?
I think he said it went in the water or something.
By your house?
No, they go on the highway. That's why he took me through the projects this effort to get rid of this stuff and those things, because that was the last stuff that I had on. He said it was best for me to get naked, so I got all the way down to my boxers and took this stuff off and my boots and put it all in the dumpster. He didn't even want to touch any of it. He used a plastic bottle to scoop the pads in, and when we ran around the corner, he threw the plastic bottle, the water bottle, on the grass.
Water bottle of what?
The water bottle that he had in his hand.
Like a drinking water bottle?
Yes. That's all I know, cuz I swear to you, it's the truth. That's everything I know.
He didn't tell you where he took them?
No, he wouldn't tell me. He said it was best, I don't know.
Did you see Tayshawn hit your kids?
No, I heard the clunks real loud. So I went over there, it was shaking.
Both of your children?
I grabbed my son, his whole skull with him pieces, and we just crossed. Oh, man. I love you doing it. Arguing with you, me on white. I'm tired of burying every animal. I cursed her, man. She couldn't breathe. I see her. She died looking at me. Baby, trying to do CPR and everything. That's why I never hit her because I know my strength. I know my strength. Oh, God.
What happened to the bodies as far as how did they get them in the car? Did you help them?
I helped her with my wife. We asked me where the garbage bag were. I told them they was in the kitchen. She got the garbage bags over the sink. And then went back to the living room. I was kissing my wife. Oh, dear. Son of the babies are gonna be where. I went over there and went back to the room. He had where the baby's head was bleeding over the bags. When he came back, a couple hours later, maybe like like 5 something in the morning. I had a bunch of bags already bagged up. He took that batch and left with it. Then he came back. And we went to get rid of the car in Sanford. We drove all the way up down 1792. And before we left the house, I vacuumed the car real good, the rainbow, and cleaned it up. When I pulled into the lot, he kept going. There was 3 bus drivers there. They're looking at me. So I backed the car. And then I walked and he picked me up across the street. I told him, let me drive. Yeah, I started driving back home. He told me to turn around. And he forgot the trunk piece. So I went back and I picked it up. And I wiped it down again. Couldn't put it in the back seat. So he told me I needed to get my clothes off. We went to some projects. There were some people there. We went to another project. I got naked there in the car. We threw everything away. Which was the bottom, the back piece, and the clothes that I had.
What was he wearing?
Changed his clothes. I don't even remember. He changed his clothes to some shorts like this with a t-shirt. When he came back the other time, his clothes were already changed.
So he left, you helped him load up your wife first?
Yeah.
And he left just with her?
No. I loaded up my wife for him because she was heavy. I was looking at my wife, giving her kisses in the face. I was just in an accident with my wife. I would have faced that. They struck my babies down. And I knew they wouldn't believe me. I knew they wouldn't believe me.
Why did Tyshawn kill your shorter someone?
They said he wanted to go to jail for murder. My kids, my wife, they started screaming.
Did you wrap the bodies, your Tyshawn wrapped the bodies in
And
anything?
we put them in just a bag. Wherever their head was bleeding, he put them in a trunk one at a time.
Garbage bag?
The white ones.
Right.
I had 2 shovels and a rake. He took the shovel and the rake.
You took all 3 at the same time?
Yes. He was gone for hours.
So they'll all be together, 3 of them?
Yeah.
Is that what he told you? You buried them all together?
Yes. Yeah, in the same spot.
Did you tell what part of Sanford you buried them?
You know, he knows the place in and out. He's from there. He was raised there, born.
Recognize that?
Yeah, that's the tower.
Where did the towel come from?
That was in one of the bags when he came back the second time.
Did you use that towel to clean up your house?
Yes.
Now, when you said you cleaned up, what did you have to clean up? What room, what area?
To the bathroom. That's it.
What did you use?
Just whatever chemicals that were there in the kitchen.
Do you recognize that mean green bottle product?
Yeah.
There's your shorts somewhere?
Yes.
This knife that you said was yours, does that come into play at all?
No. When I saw the cops, I turned around. I went back down the boulevard. That was in my car. So on the way back to the house, after I turned around, I just threw it to the grass. But there's you know,
Okay.
nobody's blood will be on that or anything.
I had a picture of some slash paintings. Can you explain that? Guess that was in the trash. You know anything about that?
So,
No? Okay. Did you and Tayshawn come up with a story to tell the police?
no, all I always told her was that I was gonna probably go to jail for domestic violence. And then when I actually got there, he was with the sheriff and my mother-in-law. That was it. And then he asked me what time that I initially get to the house. And I told him that I got back to the house, I think around 9ish or something, he said, or 11ish. And then he said that he was saying my car was there all day, and he didn't see my car there all day. But that was it. And then he said that, you know, he will stay out of it. And then he told me that I was forever in debt to him. And if I ever want to repay him, just give him cash whenever I could. So I told him, okay.
Was there a cap on the cash? Or were you just supposed to feed him money the rest of your life?
He told me he'd be satisfied with 10,000.
Did you give him any money?
He said make it cash so that way it's not traceable.
So he killed your children because he was already on probation
Yes.
and he didn't want to go to jail for murder.
Yes.
But he had nothing to do with what happened between you and your wife, correct?
Correct. He was there.
Are you willing to take us to the places where you were with Tayshawn?
Yes.
You think you'd be able to figure out where he put them? Did he describe it to
He
you?
was gone. He was gone, Kurt, for hours.
Yeah.
I thought he probably got pulled over, so he was gone. He was gone until almost the light was coming up. When my mother-in-law came to the house, I had just no lie, drove off. I was exhausted. I didn't sleep.
Did you talk to Tayshawn at all on the phone when he was gone?
No, he asked me where my phone was, and I told him that my phone was in my car, I think. But when I went back to my car, the phone was gone. I think he took it.
You had the silver car though, right?
Yes. This is what he was driving. I have a white Galaxy S3 phone, and it was gone. And I know that he took it because both my batteries were still in the slot where my radio was.
But when he used, the car that he used to go and transport the bodies, which car was that?
The Honda.
The Honda. Okay.
And then he came back and he hosed it down with my hose.
He goes down the Honda?
The outside? The outside of it.
Okay. And then how did he get over to Sanford and get dropped in the parking lot?
Because I drove the Honda to Sanford.
You drove it to Sanford?
Yeah, he drove to Saturn. That's when the phone came up missing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he took it.
What happened to the shovel and the rake?
I don't know. He came back with nothing.
Came back with nothing?
With different clothes on, a tank top and some shorts.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of right now at this point? There's a lot of things going through your mind. And I'm going to give you a minute to think. I'm going to take all this off the table. I'm going to give you those pictures. I'm going to let you
spend some time with those pictures.
That's it, I promise. That's it. It's nothing else.
Okay. I want to make sure that we're going to think about a couple other things, kind of figure out a way to get you to take us where everything else is. Because at this point, I want to make sure that, you know, if Tayshawn,
I could take you to where the rainbow is.
Okay.
And I know it's probably still there because it was, the garbage leg was freshly dumped.
Okay. Now, before I take a break, is Tayshawn, when we asked him to confront him with this whole thing, because again, yesterday, you're not stupid, when we told you that somebody told us that they saw you in these places and, you know, place in the car, did you know who we were talking about?
At first, no, I thought probably the bus driver saw me, you know, dropping off the car, so the bus driver was looking at me and stuff.
Right. At what point do you think it crossed your mind that it might have been, or could have been, somebody else?
Well, my neighbors, they drove by and they seen when Tayshawn was running across the street to get the car that he had put over there. So the neighbors did see, you know, they did see us, you know, together.
What car did he put over there?
The Saturn.
He parked it across the street?
On the cut behind where the two-story house was.
Why did he park it so far away?
So they wouldn't see a car there. But when he cut through the grass to go get it.
It was parked on Doyle then?
No, not on Toledo.
On the other side?
On the little loop area.
Which neighbor saw it?
I don't know if they was driving by, I had a bunch of lights on. I spent hours cleaning. It was a long time cleaning. Just going through every detail cleaning.
All the rags and towels and everything, did you throw them away in the same place?
No, when he came back the first time, I had all bags, a bunch of bags. Everything was like bagged up in bags in the garage. And, you know, he asked me, was I coming to clean stuff? He said, all right. He took that and then took off and left. And then he came back a while later. And when he came back a while later, it was already getting daylight. That's when we went to go drop off the car.
And you still had more cleaning stuff to get rid of?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just the rainbow and stuff.
Okay.
And then this stuff here.
How did you show restraint and not want to kill Tayshawn for killing your kids?
Well, I grabbed him, believe it. I grabbed him.
Is he have any marks on him?
No.
Did you?
No.
If there is, I don't care. I just want to see, because when I bring him in, okay, to ask him why he thought he needed to kill 2 children, okay, and he's going to give me a story. You know what I'm saying? He might pin the whole thing on you, which I do not want to happen to somebody.
But I know that's what he's gonna do. Come on, man.
I know, but I need...
I know it's gonna stick on me, but I just need the truth to get out.
So you didn't do nothing to him, right? He's not going to have... Because if he has some marks on him and I can verify it, then it gives more credibility to your story.
You can check. You just probably check it. Back, because I think it hit the door handle or something.
In the bathroom?
Yeah. Okay. Could have killed him. I could have killed him with one hit.
Did you see him take the children into the bathroom?
No, because I was in the living room with my wife.
Did you know your wife was dead at that point? Did you check her pulse or anything? Or?
She was dead. What's your name again?
AJ.
AJ, she was dead, man. She was dead. She was purple. Her eyes, her face, she wasn't breathing. Her last breath was like, and that was it. She died looking at me in my eyes. I never heard my wife. I've never heard this many times. She beat my ass from downstairs, upstairs, in my front lawn in front of everybody. She beat the shit out of me. I've never touched her. I don't hit her. I don't hit women. The bad way to women is a weak man. My father always told me. I know that's one of the main reasons why she loved me so much, because no matter what she did to me, I never struck her down. All her exes always hit her. She was a good woman, man. I love these kids more than I even love my own daughter.
You said something about seeing your daughter last breath. Was she in the bathroom by herself, or was your son in there also at that point?
They were both in there. The boy was in the tub. She was on the floor.
Did you hear them crying for help before this started happening?
I heard them after the first thought, I heard a loud scream. I ran over there. Okay. I swear she wrote my name. We were supposed to protect them. She always yelled my name when she was scared. And she really had stomach pain, man. She would sit on the toilet for hours and I would rub her belly until she went poop. We'll beat up any closet monster that was there. Oh. I was sitting with her for hours at cheerleading practice. Even if her mom was out at happy hour, I would be there cheerleading practice, watching her cheer. I would sing with her, I would walk with her, I would act like a cheerleader with her. Elijah would play video games. I would say he's the best video game I ever saw. I just got him a 3DS for his birthday. I gave her my Samsung tablet that she wanted for her birthday. Her grandmother got her that bike. I should have never went back inside. Should have just slept in the car like I always do. Just really felt she needed another chance.
Is everyone, do they all have clothes and everything on? Or did you didn't strip the kids down and your wife down before you packaged them up, did you?
No. Yeah, all of them had their clothes on.
Can you tell me what your wife was wearing?
A brown spaghetti strap shirt with no bra.
Okay.
Underwears. And some boxes. My boxes. Checker boxes.
Okay.
She would wear my boxes.
Do you remember what the kids were wearing?
Pajamas.
What color pajamas?
Elijah had on bluish pants, I think, and a light and blue shirt. Dalia had on her usual pink. She had on a pink shirt like this.
Pink pajama bottoms?
Shorts, green shorts.
Green shorts.
Yeah, she always trying to match them up.
Did you, when Tayshawn went to bury the bodies, did you put any kind of keepsakes with the teddy bear, any kind of stuffed animal, something that just
No, because I didn't take them.
you didn't load them in the car, you just helped load up the wife?
Yes.
Can you tell me what Tayshawn was wearing when this all happened? We know we changed over, but what was he wearing at the beginning when he was...
Yeah, I don't know, some like jeans and stuff. Got on some Nike shoes.
Like sneakers?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of shirt was he wearing.
It was like black and yellow.
T-shirt?
Yeah. With graphic design on it.
Can I get you anything else? You good?
You some water, please. I swear I didn't even hurt anybody, no way. Not like that, man.
I don't think you are.
Everybody that knows me knows. Even all my neighbors know. I leave, she beats my ass. I don't hit my wife. It's not like that at all. It's not in me. Just telling you I don't know. I have not been lying because I don't know where they are. I wish I think they deserve. They deserve to be buried right. They deserve that. They deserve to be kissed by everybody one last time. They don't deserve to be wherever they are.
You know, we'll do everything in our power to find them, you know that, right?
Please, that's all I ask is just find them. Find them.
Somebody real quick. You said that was yours, right?
Yeah, those are my boots.
What's on?
Everything from cement to dirt powder. I do everything with those boots. I've, fixed my house. I've done the side jobs. And then I just had them in the bathroom too.
There's some dirt on it. Do we know where that came from?
Probably from any jobs I've ever done before.
So it's not like dirt from anything to do with this?
No.
Maybe from where they were put or anything like that?
No, you can find that same dirt in my Saturn everywhere too.
The clothes that you had on, you're doing the cleanup when this happened, are they amongst some of the photographs that we showed you?
Those right there.
These are?
Yes.
Black shorts. Look at these shorts. These are the same shorts with the red stripe? Or is that a different pair of shorts?
Those two.
You had these on also?
I had those on originally.
Okay.
And then I put these on over.
Okay. And then the polo shirt?
Yeah.
What's all this other mark? Is that design or is that?
No, that's design, or probably like plates or whatever.
What kind of other products?
But this shirt, that's not my shirt.
That's not your shirt.
Oh, that's not my shirt. I had on a black shirt, a regular black shirt. I don't even own a shirt like that. Okay. I just grabbed any shirt and threw it on, but I don't believe I own a Fila shirt like that.
Have you ever seen Tayshawn with a shirt like this?
I don't know.
He wasn't wearing that. No, when you seen him that night? Like the dirt and the mud inside the boots. There was also some of it in some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
You're saying so that was there, that's like concrete or something, or?
Well, there's dirt, and then there's, we'll probably find like some, dried up blood or whatever and stuff.
Right. But that dirt isn't from?
No. That wouldn't be from That's just, my house was really, really dirty, man. I had to clean it. That's why I use the rainbow. Yeah.
So that cleaning product smell that the deputies asked you about, that's from the cleanup?
Yes.
And you can take us to the rainbow and all that stuff?
Yes, I would hurry up because this is a really good machine and people do be dumpster diving.
You remember where you would put it?
Yes, in Sanford.
Sanford? You know, store or anything? It's like,
Yes.
we didn't call out there and it would be like fast.
It's behind the World Market at the dumpster.
World Market, what streets are it?
It's right off, I think that's right.
Okay. Listen to the
As
poles
soon as you get off the exit from the 415 or 16 or whatever, 417, you make a left, and then you'll make a left at that first light. But you can see the back of the stores from that first light right there.
What are the stores that actually have the...
Or like Target, a bunch of stuff.
That's the Super Target?
Yeah, but it's this corner over here.
What stores are behind?
World Market.
World Market, okay. And it was in a dumpster?
Dumpster.
What color dumpster?
Green.
Green? Okay. Let me go see if they can find that. Eric, you okay? Maybe that could do it.
Methley curl or something.
Mm-hmm. Definitely tough and sad.
Did you get to say goodbye to him?
Blood all over my face. kicked up Elijah's head. Blood went all over me too. So I realized his skull was like all in pieces.
Tayshaun at least have the decency to put them in, you said I think that they put them in a bag, both all, everyone, or just?
No, just that he covered their heads because it was bleeding.
So nobody was actually in a bag, just heads, and then they carried them out.
Put them in the trunk.
What kind of shovel? Was it a square shovel or?
Square, flat shovel. He also took my heavy duty, I had some heavy duty long gloves. They were on top of my lawnmower. I grabbed those too.
I don't remember if he made any comments to where he put them in the area where we can check.
He knows Sanford good.
Yeah. He didn't make reference to maybe like a landmark or something like that.
I don't know, maybe a celery area up there. So
The where?
maybe that celery area. Or
Celery.
You said he took the highway, did he go I-4 or did he go 415?
I think it's at 415. Because he made a left when he left.
That road and then a left on Berry Avenue?
No, he did. He made a right. He did. He went to I-4. I-4.
You said something about swamp earlier.
Yeah, he knows the swamp's good.
Did he admit that just came up, like, you think that might be where they're at, or close to that,
That's
or?
what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because, you know, when we used to drive to school and joke around, you know, they always just be, I'll kill a bitch and bury him in this swamp, you know? I mean, we talk.
If I gave you an aerial map of that area, you think you can say, I would check this area, or check this area? Or what do you think?
I would tell you to check all of them, really. I mean, I'm not good with that area.
You don't remember exactly.
I don't know where this area is.
Let's go one step further when you said that you, how long have you known Tayshaun?
Since I moved to the neighborhood.
Okay, so a couple of years.
Yeah.
Now, when you say you go to school, you go
We went
to
to school together.
the college?
Yes.
Okay. And you would drive past this particular area,
I would drive him to school.
drive him to school.
And I would bring him and take him.
Now, I guess this area you're talking about is
I do
Sanford.
that on the minute.
Sanford, is that what area you're talking about? Or?
No, we were going to do that together.
Right. Okay.
We were going to Florida Technical College.
So at what point where you said, if I had to kill him, whatever, this is where I bury him, where was that?
No, he never said that. All he said was, man, if I had to kill a bitch, I'd put the ass out in the swamps. There's some of these swamps out in Sanford. Because we was talking about that case with your boy that dumped the body out in Sanford or whatever in the dumpster, whatever. Okay. The one you got closed, the case you got closed. I'm doing it stupid. I'm doing it dumpster. If I had to kill a bitch, I'd put the ass out in the swamp or something.
Is that what he said? Did he know them? Or,
no, I was just talking about it. I believe he knows everybody.
But you can't think of an actual particular area where they would
I don't know Sanford that good. I just know the celery area because we have church people that live in that area.
Do you know a particular area he likes to go?
No. He just born and raised in Sanford, so
Where's his family over there?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I know his uncle works at the school when the kids go. So we see his uncle and I drop off the kids.
Can you make any comments, maybe? Just think back, maybe when he got back.
So when he got back, I was like, where did you go? He said, it's best that you don't go. That's what he told me.
Anything that you can recall that maybe he had something on him, sticks or dirt or concrete?
He was changed.
Changed?
Yeah, he was changed.
He was clean, body was clean.
Yeah, he might even went back into his house or something.
Did he ever go from your house to his house during all this? Do you think there'd be actually anything in his house that
No.
you don't think so? No bags, cleaning supplies?
I don't think he did that.
You don't think maybe
He could check.
axe could be there?
He could check.
So it's possible.
It's possible.
Why'd you say he threw the axe?
That's what he said. He threw the axe because I had my wedding ring on, and I had confiscated my wife's ring from her at work that afternoon, so I had it on me. And he was like, man, don't keep that on you because then, they don't think that, you took that from her. So, and then my ring, I had it on because I was cleaning with it. I didn't take it off the nut, so I know there was blood on it. So I knew you should get rid of that. So we go to the highway. That's just the best spot to dump shit. So we just go to the highway and put it over there.
Which highway?
The I-4 bridge.
Going over into Seminole?
Yes.
So you guys were in the right lane on I-4 on the bridge? Left lane, right
I was
lane?
on the left lane.
Okay. So you're in the left lane?
Through the lanes.
And you threw and you actually seen it go over?
Yeah, I seen it go over.
And now was that the same time the axe went over?
No, I don't know because I just threw the rings. I just threw the rings.
Did he occasionally have any blood on his clothes when he left with your wife and the kids?
Yes.
He did? A lot of blood?
Yes, right over it, yes.
Okay. Front of his shirt, back of his shirt, pants?
Front.
Did you make any comments when he was doing it? Or when he came out? Or when you ran in?
I screamed at him. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? What you doing to my kids? And he was like, man, yo, come on, yo, I'm on probation. You know what I'm saying? They gonna, they see that money, yo, they gonna know, So I grabbed him, I started screaming, I went off. I grabbed my son's head, and I put it on. When I grabbed it, I put it on me. So I felt the side of his head was all like, it felt like puzzle pieces, And then the baby, I heard him. I grabbed her, I said, Talia, are you okay? Are you okay? And then she just took like 2 or 3 more breaths, and that was it.
All because they saw what happened after, actually I saw the after effects. Were they in the room? Were the kids in the
I
room?
did, yeah. And when he was taking them back to the room, I did hear her say, what did you guys do to my mom? And what did you guys do to my mom? I want to see my mom.
You think that triggered him to have to do what he did?
Her accusing him too,
Is that when he brought up the money factor?
No, but I was dropping him off.
So there's money factor was after, wasn't before?
So, you forever in debt to me, I was like, yeah. Then, he said, man, I'll be straight with like 10 stacks, just make sure it's cash, right? No tricks to me. All right.
Does he have anything? Did he take anything from the house?
Cell phone
Or
was missing.
just so he might have your cell phone, but that's about it.
Yes.
He didn't take anything from the
Because when he was
house.
on Sanford, he asked me, hey, do you have your phone with you? I was like, no. But I knew it was in the car.
Whose idea was it for the cleanup, the dumping of the car, if you will? Whose idea was all that?
No, when he originally said, I'm going to take him, man, just clean this shit up, So I just try to do it clean as best as I can, you know.
What the part
First he tried to tell me to burn the house.
burn the house? That's why you want you to burn the fucking house?
Yeah, he was like, man, you need to burn the house. I said, I didn't burn this fucking house, you crazy. So I just went and I started cleaning it.
Who picked a spot to leave the car?
He was driving up there, and he said the best spot would be where there's no cameras at. So and he said turn to right, and then there's a Publix right there. So just put it there and keep going. Never even been in that area before, so I didn't even know it, you know, for the flea market.
Did you say anything about leaving a marker where he left the bodies? Maybe a cross? Is he a religious guy? Something? I mean, Jesus,
He
hopefully.
didn't say nothing like that. When I asked him where did he go, and he said it was his best you don't know. It's only the words came out.
But he didn't mention anything about a marker or, you know, okay. When you came back and hosed the car down, was there a lot of mud and dirt on the car? Is that why it needed to be hosed down?
He just hit the tires and stuff.
Hit the tires and stuff.
Yeah, he hit the tires of wheels, and then he went under the car or whatever.
Did you see what color dirt it was, or it was dirt on the side of the car, or something like
No,
that?
it was kind of still dark still, so.
Did you guys clean out the inside of the car?
Yeah.
Was it dirt or like a bunch of, you know how when you go to the beach, you get in your car, it's all jacked up from the sand?
Just the trunk.
Just the trunk was sandy?
Yeah.
Can you tell like what kind of sand it was, like where it would come from?
It was red sand.
Red sand?
Yeah.
Anything you can think of that would have red sand?
Red and black. It's like red and black, real black.
Anything you can think of that would, like murky kind of sand, like, because I know you know Deltona, Sanford area a little bit.
I mean, I know if, you know, you dig a hole, the deeper you go, the redder or something, or the darker you get.
Yeah, the contrast of the dirt changes, yeah.
Yeah.
Was the dirt already in the car before? Because I don't, you know what I'm saying?
No, because my wife just had, I just cleaned out her trunk for her the other day. She was complaining about, because my daughter's last cheerleading, she made me take out the canopy that's on the left side. She was going to take out the canopy and please clean my trunk out for me. So I took out the rubber from the back and I put it on the driveway and I hosed it down for her so it was clean.
So most likely you're thinking it's from like shovels or something.
Probably.
Those mats that we showed you, were they interior mats, trunk mats?
What mats?
From the Honda.
That one black
No,
one.
that's the trunk mat. That's from the trunk.
So that's just one whole,
That's one whole piece that holds the trunk.
there's one whole piece?
That's one whole trunk piece.
What was on that you guys decided to hose it off or clean it off?
No, we
Get rid of it.
didn't hose that off. I just do it.
Was it
right.
blood,
It was
dirt and stuff on dirt?
Yeah. And I'm sure that blood was probably on there too because you put them straight in there. Right.
I'm just curious, how did you guys end off? What?
Dropping him off at 7-Eleven, he said, just leave me here. It's like we wasn't together. And that was it. We had that last conversation, whatever. But really just,
It was 7-Eleven at...
after we dumped that stuff at the dumpster in the projects in Sanford, the ride was just quiet. It was just quiet.
He didn't say nothing.
No, I was mostly like crying, you know. I cried so much, I can't cry, you know. So exhausted.
The 7-Eleven. What part of Deltona was the 7-Eleven? Remember?
The corner, right across the street from the house.
Okay. Probably just by the Publix there.
Yeah. Well, he was gonna walk to the 7-Eleven. He said, just drop me off here, I'll walk to the 7-Eleven. So I dropped him off at the street before the 7-Eleven.
Okay.
The old Dory Road.
Yeah.
That one like that. Pulled right there, dropped him off. I went into the Coventry, came and crossed over and went back into my neighborhood. Went home, took a shower, got dressed, and went to work. Then I turned around. I had no gas, so I took around to give me money. I had to come somewhere. just went to there. And then his mother showed up as well after. You just watch her, because she'll cover for her baby. She'll say she saw him there all night if she has to. That's how she is.
Did you ever see that axe in Deshaun's hand?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
When did you see the axe in his
When I
hand?
ran into the bathroom.
So the two children were in the bathroom,
Yes.
and you saw the axe.
In his hand, and they were both beating.
They were already beaten.
They were already beaten.
Okay. So you didn't see him
When
actively.
I grabbed them, stuff like that, told me this, okay, that's when he dropped it. He didn't even look the same. His eyes were different and everything. He was like a totally different person.
And he took the axe with him and was in the car when he left?
Yeah, took the axe with him. He put it in the trunk with the 3 kids.
He showed no emotion. No, I'm sorry, no, what the fuck did I just do? Nothing.
His eyes was just like open. He was like a totally different person.
Jesus.
I just want to kill his ass. I just want to kill him.
Is there anything that we haven't asked you yet? Any kind of small detail?
It was so fast, you know, I keep picking up, I keep just trying to replay it and replay it. Just get the image of the wave's face. I see nobody die. I watched everybody die. Let alone by my hands. We're trading places with them in a heartbeat. So,
What is, I asked you, well, I kind of hinted towards it earlier, but what's Tyshawn going to tell us?
I deny it.
Can you put her on you? What's he going to say you did?
Oh. I swear he was never there.
Is he going to say that you killed everybody and he was just there playing video games?
Probably.
Do you have anything, any information at all that I can use against him?
did he get his hands on the axe? Where was the axe? And he said something
It was
about...
by the bathroom. I had put by the bathroom. And my wife was there because I was going to put it in the bag to take it out of the house. Because I was, every time she get crazy,
Yeah.
At one point, I even had hit it up top on the thing. And she found this shit. Because we used to like to open the window. She used that to open the window up. Because sometimes the piece of wood that we had on there would, the wind would push it and it would fall. But that would, was solid. It wouldn't move. We used to get the windows fixed in the house.
So the axe was by the bathroom already?
Yes.
In the hallway? Yeah.
Mirror is by where the couch is.
Okay.
The couch here. And you got the closet. And then you got the door here.
Okay.
And he's right on that little corner slot right there. Like that with the head down and the butt leaning against the corner.
Okay.
Do you know he grabbed that?
Huh?
Do you know he grabbed that, or you didn't know until after you saw
I
it?
don't know because I was in the living room.
Okay.
What part of the axe did he use to strike your children?
He was holding it like this. So
He was holding the handle.
he was holding the handle, but the flat part was facing him.
Okay. So, you know how the axe has a wedge on top of a handle. Was he using a...
Give me paper and I can draw it out for you.
I'll get you a piece of paper. I'll be right back. Get you a cup. Here.
You better find him, Kurt.
You know, we'll do everything we can.
You better find him.
So, I mean, if there's anything you can think of that might just stand out. How much gas was in the car?
Which car?
The one that he used.
Full tank.
Full tank.
I'm going.
You got a pen?
Shorthand.
When he was holding it, which way was his hand facing? This was the side that he hit him with?
Yes.
No, was this bloody? Did you see any blood on it?
This side wasn't. This side.
Okay, so there's blood here?
Yeah, so you hit with this side right here. This side was facing him.
Okay. Was there, so you saw blood here, and was it on the handle at all?
Yes, some right there.
Okay. Anything else on it? Hair or
Well,
anything
the
like
ass
that?
was real rusty, so it was
Okay.
quite tough, and it was
Okay.
really rusty.
So that's blood. Do you know if it went down the handle at all or anything?
No, it was up here, from there and here.
So most likely that was the only part of impact.
Yes.
Do me a favor, just sign it. I don't think I drew it. You're obviously a little bit more artistic than me. And when you went in there and you hit him, that's when he dropped it.
He had it down like this.
Okay. Jeez.
10, 20,
25.
24, around.
And then he dropped it. And then he picked it up? Or you picked it up and put it in the car?
No, he picked it up when he came back in.
Did he wrap it with something?
No, he just took it out of us.
And the car was in the garage now, right?
My wife's car was always in the garage.
Backed in, pulled in,
Pulled in.
and that's where he got the shovels from, was your garage?
Yes. Just
Good morning, like I said, we'll try to see if we can work. Try to see if we can work on anything. If you're under me.
Judge, I'd mark the time at 1:16:22, and we're pausing the tape. I have a couple questions I could ask the witness.
Okay.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Judge?
May.
Thank you. Sir, I'll approach you with what's marked State's Exhibit 00 for identification. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, sir.
Is that the photograph that Mr. Toledo was just drawing in the video that we watched,
Yes, sir.
or the drawing he was making?
Yes, sir.
Judge, if there are subject to defense's previously raised objections, State remove 00 and State next.
Please still be made. Okay, based upon the matters we've discussed before, the item will be admitted into evidence.
States 118.
State request that publish the item by passing it on the jurors.
Okay, you may do so very quickly. Give it to the bailiff, please. right. Anything else for today?
Not for today, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adjourn for the weekend today and come back on Monday. Now, you have a free day tomorrow. You're welcome. I would prefer if you didn't go to work, and I will excuse you from going to work because I don't want to risk somebody at your job saying something to you about the case. I'd rather have you stay home. But if you feel that you must go to work, you're welcome to do that, but make sure that you inform your supervisor or whoever is there not to say anything to you about any case, and not to approach you, not to discuss your thoughts. Also, you can't do any research again. Don't talk to anybody about the case. Don't let anybody talk to you about the case. Don't talk among each other about the case. We still have a lot to do, and we would hate to spoil the workload by allowing a juror to go. Rogue and start doing investigations on their own, okay? So we will excuse you until Monday at 9 a.m. Be here at 8:45. Don't run. Just walk, okay? If you're late, just call me, tell me you're coming late. We'll wait for you. Leave all the transcripts and all your notes face down in your chair.